Welcome, folks, to this week's edition of We Speak Tangent, the podcast that's brought to you by the Neurodivergent Entrepreneurs Network in partnership with South of Scotland Enterprise. And as you may have guessed...
If you're watching,
if you're listening, you're none the wiser. But this is the special... this is the Christmas episode. Which will be released in February. So yes, this
please
is...
do at least come and look at the video.
I'm sure there'll be a still on
It's
Spotify. But this is... what we're going to do is we're going to try and fit the theme of our podcast into Christmas. So I think this may be the most heavily edited one we do. So hello, folks. Welcome along.
Yeah.
We didn't do our cheese link Christmas. So I am Michael.
I am James the elf.
And I am Kat with sparkles.
So we find ourselves talking about. So where do we start with Christmas?
I think we start the run up, don't we? We just go for we're going to go for the what? And we're going to go for
We've
the
nearly
running?
lost an elf. We might have to do this
For those
whole thing
listeners,
again.
James was eaten by a
a wee
chair.
bit of elf and safety. We're on it. Back in the room.
Right.
So I reckon we start for the run up to Christmas because I'm already starting to feel it. I don't know if I'll say a wee bit. You know, I'm wearing this costume uniform. You know, past tense I have wore things like this not just because of doing panto or all the other stuff, because people have just assumed that I would turn up wearing this. This is maybe like 5-10 years ago. Little did they know this is like my chief masking. You know, I would turn up with this stuff and pretend to be something else. A lot like the Halloween that I was saying. You know, and I can pretend to be something and only I internally knew.
Yeah.
Nobody, you know, become the chief masker. And so I thought, you know, I do like Christmas. It's not particularly a sad or a happy time for me. It does have triggers and trauma and all the other stuff that we'll delve into, but to be able to come on our show and be able to tell people that you know is that I wear this with pride. I do like seeing people being cheery and generally enjoying the times, but being neurodivergent, I also see the unhappiness. When I'm walking, I'm in the coffee shops and I'm seeing it, and you know I'll share one of my triggers is like, you know, seeing parents dragging their kids up and they're shouting at them. It's busy. It's the environment. You're in a coffee shop. You're looking at the window. There's somebody poor. There's somebody taking cigarette butts out the bin. You know, it's like,
The tinsel is just...
somebody's trying to annihilate me. We know it's not Christmas when we're filming it. We get it. We know
Live
it's not filming.
trigger. This is the sort of content that we need
That literally gave me a cold sweat there.
for the social media. What's more alarming
That's
is
the excerpt reel.
Yeah. What's more alarming is I didn't jump, which is like I thought I'd be the most jumpy one.
I was
but-
quite impressed. I processed what was happening before I jumped.
Wow.
That's a first.
I didn't even see it coming. Nah, we'll just
No,
leave it.
this is live.
I think this is the hilarity.
You've seen it as
Yeah.
it should be once, and now it's...
I mean, I know I was rabbiting on there, but that was a bit
I'm
extreme.
gonna,
Just to
I'm gonna
pull
cope
in
with
Christmas
the fact that
down.
it's not perfect anymore. It's good. It's good for me.
Aye, so as I was saying, you know, at that time, I guess what I'm trying to ask you guys is if that's the same. But looking out windows, being in there, being busy, I don't like being that busy. I don't like being there. But if I know that I can make a difference in somebody else's day, then the elf costume is on and it's serving the purpose now, as opposed to years and years ago using the elf costume or whatever costume as a mask. Yes, I do still mask because I have to go into character. So today I am unmasked but wearing the costume. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's pretty cool.
What's it like with yous? What's it like for yous? Is it similar to that? I guess I'm asking. Is it?
It's probably the capitalist opinion, but
Yeah.
Christmas has got easier for me because I'm a DJ.
True.
So if you, it's literally in the, yeah. So for folks that have missed my episode, well done. But I'm one of the things I do is I'm a DJ. So Christmas hours are joyous, because it's straight through. But I don't know. It's how you deal with it. Christmas, I think we have to put it into sections here. Christmas as a neurodivergent kid was absolutely miserable because the pressure to to be, and it's nothing against my family. I love my family. I love the whole Christmas experience, but the pressure to actually, what folks that are neurotypical do usually is they play along. And it's all about the wonder and the occasion and the thing. If you don't have a good poker face, as you know, a few of us don't, we'll get to the gifts in a minute, but it's the pressure to be happy all the time. And it's not, and it starts with your advent calendar where you've got to have a little bit of joy each day. Then there's the meal, then there's the, family arguments. What did you think of your present? You're meant to go, I loved it. And then we go, actually, no, thank you. But I think for me, as a kid, it was more difficult because my family, both sides of my family, were all about the meal. And which is fine if you don't have food conditions or food.
Absolutely.
And in fairness to both my parents, it was the one day of the year where I wasn't under any pressure to eat anything, but there was still the same great big meal there. So it's different things, it's pressure, but I think
stress as well, isn't it?
it's a lot, and actually I've done it from both sides of the coin. So I remember Christmases where we were better off financially. I remember Christmases where we weren't. And it's that thing of what is Christmas about without going into the big whole story. But it's the one time where family, if you're lucky enough to have family still, which is another neurodivergent thing, the sort of victims of. But we have to spend time together. Yeah. It's the one thing in the calendar where you can't go, sorry, I'm working. You've got to go on and do it. But it's different challenges. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being really glad that I found forums that I could talk to people on, because it is exactly that. It's like you can't call your friends because they are being happy with their family. And when you're lonely, it's hard.
Yeah, it's a lonely time. It's like, and I always say I'm lonely, but I'm not alone. Even more so now that I've got you guys. I know I can phone maybe Christmas Day or whatever. It's nice to have that connection. I guess it brings on to the next bit that's gone through my head. I mean, I was thinking there the time that I went to number 25 on my Christmas thing, or 24, there was no chocolate in it. Yeah. Somebody else had ate it, and I was just melting down.
Yeah.
But again, obviously, we're entrepreneurs. We've got our own businesses, so we're here to talk about that as well. It's like,
if there's any chocolate businesses out there, might be an idea.
What's it? Didn't you sugar your advent calendar? It might have been down the bottom.
I don't get myself one, but it's
we just cut out the middleman. We just get ourselves a bar of chocolate. Yeah.
I guess I know we've got questions here, but I guess what people are wanting to know is what it's like as a neurodivergent entrepreneur at this time of year. What's it like for a business? So
I mean, I'd imagine it's very difficult because actually it's, and I know sort of second hand, but like November is preparing for December, and then nothing happens in January.
Yeah.
So it's that thing of you're working, and it's the rush and it's the joy and it's everything from the customer experience to the music to the it's the whole
kind of coaching is the opposite of that, because November, December is when people start having to spend time with their families and be busy and buy presents, and then they lose that time for themselves, and then they'll come back in January. So we have a kind of opposite pattern.
I think as well as it's the build up in it. That's what I was thinking in my mind. It's the pressure. As somebody who paints, as commissions, and then you've got people who are they going to return them? Did I like them? In fact, that's my tangent. I was thinking in my mind that I'm wearing this costume, so I'm thinking that is it going to be judged? Oh, I went too far. It's not all about you, James. It's not a selfish podcast. It's about other things, and all these things going through my mind, and then it's like, and then I've just tripped over a frame that I'm using for a Christmas for somebody, and then it's this, and then everything. So I guess the whole package of trying to be something or pretending to be somebody that you're not. Is how we coping with. That's our coping mechanisms.
Which makes me question whether my spoiler alert, we're filming this in the morning and we've been here an hour. And when I got in this morning, James was wearing that. Now, I didn't notice because Michael doesn't do mornings, not that I speak to myself in third person, but I waved and then I got to the top and it was, I think you're expecting and I just went, okay, like that's what we're doing. So like I understand like it's a mask, it's a costume and it's jolly. So, but I wouldn't like, I've seen worse sights on people that have actually, at Halloween, for example, I'm less intimidated by Christmas than I am by Halloween because I can work out what the costume is and what you're trying to portray rather than Halloween. I'm just like, what is that? But no judgment, you know, it's people wear and do and get through the experience how they see fit. Yeah. And it might just be because I'm a man in my 30s and this could easily be a grumpy old man tangent. But I think for me, it's nice to actually see the joy in people such as yourself that are delivering. And even if you unpack it and go, there's not as much joy behind it, and we're all playing along, it's nice to see that there is that sort of glimmer of magic still there.
And then, you know, we've been talking about being kids, because that is, you know, as a neurodivergent, I don't live there, but I often remember stuff about being a kid.
Yeah, you see, I was the little scientisty kid,
right.
So I counted how many carrots we had in the kitchen. And when the reindeer carrot went back to the veggie box, I was like, I have a suspicion. And then so the next year I just stayed up and watched. And I was like, it is my peanuts.
Yeah, I think
so that was about 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
You were very, okay. Okay. There's now fooling cat. Yeah.
Where's this extra carrot?
Just, yeah, exactly. It's. I mean, it was nice, kind of, but it was like, why are we pretending?
I mean, we get the concept. Christmas is great to take away the distractions of the world and all the other stuff.
If it does.
If
it does.
That's the point.
Like, I spend Christmas Day by myself, and I'm all right with that, you know, but how many people out there aren't okay with that, and it's not through choice?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I know it's not my job to think of the world and everything, but as a neurodivergent, I can't not help it. It's like everything's there. I don't watch council TV, as I've told every day, because all that stuff. So I don't see any of the other Christmas, but other TV things like Disney with the Happily Ever After, you know, it's like these things are
but I mean, also,
heavily
you know,
planted.
like it can be equally as hard, if not harder, being lonely with people as it is being lonely.
That's what Christmas was like,
That's a good point. It's how you act. I think, so I mean, for any business, it'll be tough because it's all about product, whereas for any consumer, it's about experience. But Kat's correct in the sense that all is not what it seems, because people will still, not that I'm the most financially minded person in the world, but people will go out of their way to get into ridiculous financial hardship just to get that joy.
Absolutely.
Just to get that little Kat or James or Michael opening that present and going, wow, and then have a miserable January. Because we need to pay. So it's swings and roundabouts. But I mean, for me, it's sort of entrepreneurial. But so even though I'm in a sort of synthetic Christmas jumper, I've got no hair, and I came in a cardigan. I'm only 33, but I'm a member of a Rotary Club. And which, any more on the bingo card to make me sound old and fuddy-duddy. But what we do now is we have the literal charity shop that we raise money for. And it is, I swear to you, it's the most humbling experience ever. And we're not talking, you know, Bob Geldof. We're just talking, we rent out a shop. We get all the things that people have lying around. And a few other things, and people are doing their literal Christmas shopping.
Right.
Like we're not looking, it's the whole charity shop thing of it's turned from places where lovely people, you know, to actually, no, this is actually like a shop now. This is how we do. And we raise money, but for 3 days it's non-stop for us because we've got to be happy and Christmas. We have the whole Christmas experience. But yeah, haggling over because we've got to try and get as much money as possible for charity. But as a human being where the line is for people. So it's not all about the big wonderful gift. If you buy local, that's brilliant. That's great because you're still helping somebody's actual business. But yeah, the whole Christmas experience is challenging at the best of times, but it's no less challenging than the other 364 days. It's just a day with a bigger meal and more forced joy. Like if there's ever a day that I wanted to mask, I don't have to now because I live alone. It makes me sound like I don't see my family. I do. We do that whole family thing, but there's a difference between living with your family and living independently or away from, because that's your way out. I can actually go, no, you're wonderful and I love you, but I cannot be in this room anymore because it's too much like, hey, no. But no, I think if we didn't actually convey what the experience is, there is joy to be found, but it can be so forced. It's exhausting. So.
I remember I spent a lot of time running away for Christmas. As soon as that dinner's done, I was out of there. See you later. And that's for a young age. Where are you going? I'm like, it doesn't matter. And
I used to go to the stables in the morning, 6 a.m. Ponies.
But that's almost not romantic, but that's like the nice snow falling down.
Oh yeah, we used
go
to
to the stables. You put the hat on the horse or something, or the sort of Christmas saddle or whatever. That's the nice way of doing it.
I was just gone away for every day because it was overwhelming. I was away a walk in the dark night.
Where did you get to?
There was a football stadium and I just climbed the fence and went and hid in the dugout. And that was all right for me. But just when something that you said, Michael, that's we don't mind giving joy to other people, even although that's not possibly what we all feel. That's a nice thing, man. That's a way of neurodivergent.
One of my favourite kind of Christmas memories is, so I worked at Pfizer for a year, and they had a scheme where you bought a shoebox.
Yes.
And then they sent the shoebox to children. You never met the children, you didn't know who they were, you just got an age, and I think you did get a name, so you could do a card. And I got them a Build-A-Bear, and it was wonderful.
Actually, that's a good core memory. So again, if I'm not just plugging my episode, but I did talk about how my mum was the community leader and she ran the shoebox thing.
Oh, cool.
It was genuinely, it was wonderful. Because as you say, you didn't know who it was going to.
Yeah, although we also, my parents ran the Christmas party for the playgroup.
Yeah.
So the whole of primary school, I got to choose what everyone got for their Santa presents.
And that's why you have Kat as a friend.
No secret Santas here.
But then nobody knew because nobody knew it was us that chose presents. So.
But again,
I knew.
It goes back to the having money and not having money thing. There was one year that Mum insisted on having name brands in the shoebox, and I was like, I don't really think that's the thing. But it's a leveler. It's a humbling experience.
Like I've started to enjoy Christmas things a wee bit more. So, and again, I'll say what Michael said. It's not about me. I feel uncomfortable sitting in coffee shops. I really do. But at Christmas time, a couple of years ago, I started to take myself out of my comfort zone. This might work for somebody. It certainly works for me. So I would sit and I've got a bright orange fluffy bag and I'd just start taking things out. But I'm watching. And I'm watching to see who's watching me. And remember, it's Christmas. It's busy. There's people. There's places. There's... And then I just found myself sitting painting. I'd just be simple Christmas cards. But then I found that if I wrote something on the back, I'd then pick somebody.
Yeah.
And I really feel comfortable giving them these things. So what I would do is finish my tea, which is freezing because it's taking me a bit of time. And then I would go and hand it over to them and then I would run away. I'd go to my car. But these instances, I would get to see them open it.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by, I might not necessarily feel it, but they're taking my problem. And they're using it as like this nice wee Christmas thing. And I have been captured by somebody and I'll be like, that whole autistic...
Sitting there with a
what
net.
do you want? And then it's it's nice at the same time, but like your uncomfortableness can be something for somebody. Like we nailed it and said that
it's amazing those little things. Like I remember when I was in London, somebody was at one of the stations just with a big tray of mince pies, and was just giving them out to
Yes.
people, and it was just really lovely.
And it is. It's like it shouldn't be. That's the thing. It shouldn't just be Christmas. You know, it's like doing kindness isn't
100%.
just for Christmas or Christmas dinner. Do it all the year round.
Random acts of kindness all the
But
time.
don't give me a Christmas card in March, like. But that's what it is. It's like people, and we forgot how to human. But is that maybe time for a wee
Connection is
advert?
missing.
No,
Not yet.
James is
No.
elfin and projecting
We're trying
forward.
to
Elf and safety.
we're trying to end it on a sort of pseudo positive. No, we love Christmas.
It's
We just hate almost everything about it. Like it's, but then it's. But you are right. Like it's those moments that people remember. It's not. It's not the presents.
No.
Like I couldn't give you a list, for example, of presents that meant something or experiences. For me, it was literally, and this was not so long ago. It was, you go for the meal, you then sit in front of the council television to watch the Queen or King this year. This will be the first year the King's done so it's like, the second year. Yeah, well, I sort of stopped watching.
Sorry, King Charles.
Yeah,
I sidestepped all of that. I don't do the meal. I don't do the presents. I don't do watching the telly.
So have we found like kryptonite? Is Christmas? No, genuinely, is Christmas for you just
Yes.
another day?
Yeah. Apart from that, it's very triggering. But yeah, Christmas is a thing.
That's tough. So how do you cope with that then?
I generally go and walk on the beach, or I'll go walk somewhere else. Sometimes I'll dip in and hang out with people on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Oh, it's good to check in. Absolutely. It's the staying around them, just like, oh, okay. But I mean, has there been any businesses or products that you found comfort in, or that you've, I don't know. I don't imagine it's things that
Maybe
you can
that's what
avoid.
you pick up, Nido. We want Christmas.
They've got an advent calendar.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I take it back. We want 3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, connecting with nature and stuff, and writing poetry as well.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
Doing it for you, that's back to the self-care.
Yes, absolutely.
Self-care on Christmas is more so higher than any other day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It has kind of become a day that was, and in some ways still it's really challenging, but also it is a day when there are no expectations because everyone else is doing something.
Yeah, you get the
Well,
world
not
to
everyone,
yourself
but like
as
presumably there are other people that aren't doing the things.
well. Yeah.
But it's a quiet day. There's hardly anyone on the roads. There's no shops open. It's just.
Do you find that this is
Space.
a personal question, but do you find that does your business slow down as it comes up to Christmas, or does it get busier?
Yeah. So people like I say, so people will start needing to or choosing to spend time, organising the meal and the presents and all of that kind of stuff, and then so some people drop off. A lot of the people that stay are quite distressed and lonely, and also don't find Christmas very comfortable. And then people will come back in January.
Yeah. So I know because I answer the phones for AA on Christmas Day. I don't know if I'm doing it this year, but it is, and it puts your own life in perspective. You're working with people, it's like it's no easy. Again, an addiction is out there.
No,
So when
exactly,
you're giving away something is important. Back to the self-care stuff as well. I guess my other question that was going through my head was, is it busier than January? Or are the aftermath of Christmas and New Year?
I mean, again, often that has been quite a difficult time, especially a lot of people that are, have issues with family and being with family and which family they see and which family they don't, and the expectations and things. So quite often it will come back and it will be because people have that kind of safety net, and I have coaching myself, and it's like you get used to having that connection where you can be unmasked and you can be yourself, and then you lose that for 2 months, and then you have the rush of Christmas on top of it, and then you come back in January and people are just like right up at their
disoriented
limit,
and
and very burnt out.
And I guess that's why I keep looking to turn the time. It got a bit deep for me when I was telling you things, and instantly for me, I want to run away. When it gets too much for me, James always goes, even though this is a safe space, I'm like, is it time to end for an advert? Because I was getting quite, and this is the thing that I like when when we ask things, people will ask that, and we will have no doubt things in the show notes for them. It's a tough time, and
100%.
I'm always all about reach out to people, harder than what it seems, but I was once where you are, I guess, and as once you find the right people to speak to, that gets you through the Christmas time as well.
I've volunteered on helplines, and I've used helplines a lot around Christmas as well. So they are out there. And they're very
Not
good.
something
They're very
I've done
helpful.
yet, but I think I will.
You'd
as
be
time
good at
goes
that.
on. I'm not sure that I would.
I
think I'd be okay,
Listen to
yeah.
somebody and I give them a bit of small critique back. Aye.
Well, it looks like that's part one of the Christmas episode in the books.
You did it, man.
We did. We're just. I mean, woof. Come back and join us to talk about the
More Christmas.
yes, the idiosyncrasies that is Christmas in a business context. All right, folks, welcome back to this special Christmas episode. It certainly is a special episode of We Speak Tangent Part 2. So, as this is a business-focused podcast, I think we should talk about jobs.
Yeah.
And some of the terrible jobs that people have had before sitting in a goldfish bowl with a fire hazard. This might be the time to actually talk about where you wouldn't expect Christmas cheer to be.
I go first.
Go for it.
Right. And if anybody's listening, my old bosses, I do apologise. So I worked
That's
in
quite an opener.
I know, yeah.
One of them was I worked in a holiday park, right? Now, I've said this before, and I did think it was going to be like Dirty Dancing, and I would carry the watermelons and all that.
What?
You know, you never seen Dirty Dancing? You never seen Dirty Dancing?
Yeah.
It's all based in a holiday park, but I wasn't referring to that. You know.
Sorry, right,
Anyway,
okay. So
yeah.
you're on. Sorry.
Aye.
Sorry.
Dirty Dancing fans will get that. I wasn't carrying the
they will.
watermelons.
That's
is what
a
I'm trying to
tangent.
say.
It bombed in the room, but it will make it
So-
out there.
I preferred the We Speak Tangerine pun to that I vetoed. But welcome back to We Speak Tangerine.
Yeah. A mandarin. Right.
Satsuma.
Oh,
A mansuma.
let's just get through one thing before we start another.
Did I? So here we are with my watermelon carrying. It's in Dirty Dancing. If you've seen it, you'll know. But it wasn't like that. So, like as I discovered years ago that Christmas time, no fitting in with the family, and if anybody's worked in a holiday park, you live there all year round. man. You
I'd
live
rather
there.
fit in with the family. Your escape is a holiday park. Right, okay.
Oh no, it's not as good as that. There's nothing open.
But
That's
there's
what
an
I'm trying to tell you.
anonymity in that.
Aye.
Though,
Okay.
You're like, there is nothing opened. The shops aren't opened, and if you're like myself, I was an addiction. I couldn't drive.
Mm.
And I couldn't go to shops, so I stocked up on stuff. It was a terrible time spending that by myself
So
in
you
a
were in
caravan.
a ghost town disguised as a holiday.
Nobody there, and the people who were there were also addicts. So it's like you were just
Wow.
feeding off each
Yeah,
other. So
that's hard.
Christmas, that was a Christmas time and job time that just. I mean, the job itself was great.
Mm.
It was in itself a human masking job, sales, talking to people, pretending, selling things, overcompensating, all that stuff. So when I went away back to my tin prison, as I called it, no Christmas tree up, nothing like that would give me the feel of it's Christmas. So in there, we just sliding patio doors that looked onto an empty caravan park with just me there with my wine. And that's a time I go back and I think, life is so much different now that I've actually accepted who I am, what I do, and things. But job when the place isn't open and you stay in a caravan park. Yes, it does sound luxury, but nobody there. It's even lonelier when you're
Yeah,
lonely
it's
by
strange,
yourself. And life in a
It's
tin.
even anything like that where it's like a place that should be busy that isn't is quite unnerving.
And then you're preparing yourself for when it gets to March when it opens back up. So you've got all that added pressure. You're back and you're trying to pretend that you've not got what you've got. I'm not. I constantly said to myself, autistic, I know ADHD. Then I'm sitting in conversations with people and I'm like, wow. It's that moment of clarity of I need to get help. But by that time you're away to the bar and you're getting another drink. And that's what Christmas
that's true.
time for me being. I mean, I've openly said I I will die an addict. I am every day an alcoholic and an addict. I am clean and sober, like, for a bit years, but it's that time of year. It's associated, you know. It's associated with the alcohol and the fun, and it's like it doesn't just need to be that. And if you can socialise like that, great. But you know, I found that is the biggest mask I did of all, hiding behind the alcohol because it was socially acceptable, and I nobody to blame bar myself, and that's another hard feeling to go through during Christmas. But there was me and my wee caravan, and it's not like that because I've got a cat now, and me and Picasso are going to spend Christmas together, you know, and it's like...
At least you know what the present will be. you can't deviate from that. That's brilliant. I've brought you and Jackie annual.
Christmas dreamies, and you're sorted.
Here's a parcel for you, Dad. I'm going to make sure I clean that on Christmas Eve. Aye, but you know, as I say, if MD gets to that, it's like, you know, there is help out there. That when you're
get a cat.
Aye, get a cat that, like,
or a dog.
Or a dog, or any kind of wee animal that'll take you on.
Or a rat. Rats are amazing.
Aye.
As I said, get a cat or
Christmas
a dog.
Rat.
And I go, let's not. What was we speak tangents takeaway? That like rats were home.
Yeah.
Like what? Okay.
I would be down with that. There's lots of rats.
Okay.
As someone who used to be part of the rat train.
This is another tangent that is just. I mean. Wow, I'd rather talk about Christmas.
Community.
Right? Okay. Oh, you know. So yeah, I've done a few. Well, the third sector boards that I'm on and some of the national ones, all of them require some form of Christmas get together. And if you have one, that's wonderful. But if you are like me and you have 10 to 12, that's a lot of turkey. That's a lot of joy. Which I deal with very well by just going, I went to that one last year. But it's that. And I'll also, as I said, the sort of DJ times, Christmas Eve gig is pretty miserable.
Do people go out on Christmas Eve? Is that a thing that people do?
Yeah. It's, without sweeping generalisation, it's people that... I think we'd have some sort of offer on for you know, it's very much like the sort of Halloween thing, but obviously Christmas. But yeah, it's people, playing Christmas songs at Christmas Eve. It's not like the nice sort of thing. It's just people going, oh, it's Christmas Day. We have to go home now at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and spend it with our actual families. So yeah, I mean, we're open, you know, throughout the Christmas period, and it's well, we're just waiting for New Year. Boxing Day is usually pretty good, but I haven't done a Christmas Day thing yet. I think my class Christmas Day. Anyway, no, but we'll sort of straight through. But yeah, like you think that it's the same gig, but it's not. You actually realise people are still whatever. They're still trying. They're still trying to couple up, or they still want to hear One Direction. They still want to hear Taylor Swift. It's the same thing, but yeah, it's just a different Christmas hat and a different Christmas jumper. But it's not as interesting as I think Kat's experience.
I think the most Christmassy job I ever had was when I worked in a McDonald's in a service station, and so from mid-October, so sort of just Halloween, and then but I mean it was already kind of creeping in, and then it would be Christmas songs. Constantly. I did a couple of years, all of November, all of December. The double shifts were especially long. But then, you know, in that there were little moments, you know, you'd get families coming in like matching Christmas onesies. It was a little kind of nice moment, and you know, you'd see each other's Christmas jumpers, and everyone would wear Christmas hats, and after about 10 hours, you just start singing Christmas songs together.
So if we can just bring out the cat T-shirt, which will be released, of a photograph of me going, check your privilege. And I say this with respect to people that do this, but I don't know. Who is at a McDonald's at a service station during the festive period? The actual Christmas...
Lorry drivers.
Well, yes. I mean...
you know, there's obviously a lot of more kind of parcels going around.
Right.
Couriers. which is another Christmas job, actually. I should mention that.
God bless the couriers.
Yeah, you get a lot more parcels at Christmas. Which
They have to wear Christmas hats, surely. No red suit.
No, it's not required, but I always did wear my Christmas stuff, and it did make people smile, and I did enjoy that.
That's joy. Yeah.
Exactly. It's that kind of like where you go to the door and you're like, here is your parcel. In fact, the best courier story that I have is...
Lean in. We're in. Yeah, okay, yeah.
The first Christmas that I did, there's two kind of sections to it. So Christmas Eve was raining that year, really heavily. Been raining. So I've been delivering parcels from about 10 a.m.
Scotland, raining Scotland.
Raining heavily.
Yeah.
So, and it was about 11:30 p.m.
Thank you.
So I'm not that lazy.
I am.
And
Yeah.
I got to a house and I was like, and you get to that kind of time and you're like, oh, shall I leave it in a safe place? Shall I knock? And then I looked in through the window and the guy was there wrapping his presents.
Oh.
And then so I knocked on the door and he came out and he was like, oh my God, it's arrived. And then he kind of like thanked me and then ran into the house and they had all the windows open. So I could hear him going, it's arrived, it's arrived. It was amazing. And then
What was it? Do you remember?
I know. I'm like, what
I
is
don't know because parcels are wrapped when you deliver them. So I know.
Stand at the window. Hurry up,
no,
open that.
So no, I didn't know what it was.
Does it not say on the
It was
thing?
something for the not always. No.
No.
Only if it's in a box. It's wrapped. You don't see. But yeah, so it was something for his son. He did say that.
That narrows it down a bit.
It was
Could
a
be anything.
child's
Right,
thing
okay,
that
nice.
they were very happy about.
Good.
And then I also then delivered the last parcel that I delivered, by which time it was about midnight. So I was like, no, definitely safe placing at this point. AM, exactly, yeah. 12:30 AM.
It's all relative at Christmas. Yeah.
So officially Christmas Day. And I got to this person's house and the parcel was paper wrapped. And I was like, I can't leave this outside, it's raining. So then I found...
You're so considerate.
Yeah.
You're so like... Nobody...
I know, good couriers do exist. So they had one of those tub trunks. So I found the tub trunk and I balanced it on like a box and then I put the tub trunk over the top of it and then I put a note through the door letting her know where it was. And I left it and all night I was like, I really hope that parcel didn't get soaked. And then on Christmas Day, because you have your phone number on your courier card, I get a phone call at lunchtime, Christmas Day, so I'm in my house on my own. Having just got up, I had a very nice lie and it was brilliant. I was in the middle of my first coffee.
6 o'clock, was it?
And actually, no, yeah.
An actual lie-in.
It was about 8:30.
Okay, that's
when
good
I
for
got
Kat.
up.
That is good for Kat. Right, okay.
But yeah, so she rang me and she was like, thank you so much for leaving that parcel. I am wearing the jumper now at my Christmas do and it's brought me great joy to have that. And I was like, that's going to carry me for a long time.
Nice. A capitalist question. Double time as a courier Christmas Day?
Nope.
No? What?
Really?
Nope.
That
You
is
get,
that is appalling.
They have a thing called Super Sundays where you get, well, with the company that I was with, other companies are available, so that you would get paid an extra 20 quid for doing a Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, so no.
I'll pay for the Christmas Big Mac that we're getting.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm trying to bring it back to...
Just a tangent all the way back round to the service
yeah.
station. Also, yeah, you got a lot of families that were travelling between different relatives.
How bad was the Christmas dinner? We've got to go to that service station for McDonald's.
Well,
we've just been to Granny's.
Quite often it was the parents trying to get coffee as they're driving the length of the country.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, and then the kids would usually want the Christmas donut.
Yeah, you try and quiet them out with the McDonald's. Yes, okay. Oh, well, yeah, there's a parenting lesson there, I think, as well as a business lesson. No, I mean...
And a cooking lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget the dinner.
I think
Save the money.
When
When
the live carol singers came into the service station, that sort of it removed the burden of conversation because you couldn't hear anyone. So it evened out.
Yeah. No, I remember very distinctly like doing the first pop-up shop, and it was the carol singers around the tree that lit up, and it's like it's fine for about an hour.
Yeah.
And then it's like
Loud.
I need some form of be a paracetamol. I'm sure you can sing, and I'm sure that when you rehearsed it was all in perfect pitch.
Yeah.
But right now you're in the middle of a shopping centre in front of a tree, and I'm trying to sell this person something. Like, would you mind awfully?
Is that another thing? It's louder at Christmas.
Yeah.
It has to be.
I mean,
Everything
it's
is louder
brighter,
at
it's
Christmas.
louder.
You've got Mariah Carey
there's
to compete
lights
with.
everywhere,
Yeah.
and there's
How-
songs everywhere.
how
And it's
are
the
you
same
with-
songs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because, you know, that you can quite often kind of tune stuff out a lot easier, like when you're in the supermarket
Yeah.
or something. But when it's all Christmas songs, it's all the same songs, then it's just always there. It's like an earworm.
But you know why that is, though? That's because nobody's actually bothered to release a new Christmas song.
Since the 50s,
There's a reason Noddy Holder likes Christmas. £500,000 a year he gets in
Yeah.
royalties, and that's because the Christmas single. I mean, could you name a Christmas single in
It's
the
not
last
really
5 or
a
10
thing now,
years?
is it?
I mean,
The sausage roll one.
4 years in a row. I
Which
think
raised a lot of money for 4 years in a row. Which raises money for the Trussell Trust for.
What about the busyness of
Christmas
Christmas?
meals.
That's coming into my mind. What
that
about
was a wonderful tangent. Well
what about-
done.
what about-
Well, we're not talking
You're
about
like,
sausage rolls.
No, not don't
We've-
reject that tangent.
We've went from McDonald's to sausage rolls now to music. Okay.
I like.
Said to the vegetarian.
And-
I'm just thinking that it's busy.
Sorry, yes,
It's busy at
it
Christmas.
is busier.
Like when you're talking there, I'm in that shop that we're mentioning with the sausage rolls, and the other day, like somebody randomly, again, I must have a problem with this because people walking past and barging into me or
You need a sign.
No, but
Rand-
it's true. and
randomly touching me.
It's
Like,
that unexpected
aye.
kind of brushing touch.
Doesn't matter
is
who it is,
especially
man. It could be
difficult.
any yous or friends or whatever.
Yeah.
But see that at Christmas time, it just feels like I was going to say everybody's
I think,
touching
like
me,
you
but,
say though,
you know,
because,
they walk
because
past and brush
everything
into
is
me.
so bright and everything is so
Aye.
loud. You know, you're more sensory
Yeah.
overwhelmed than usual. So then those things are harder at Christmas.
And again, something that I said, that's something I said earlier about commissions and stuff. That's why I spend the time. I'm out there, yes, look, I'm loud, I'm proud, I'm all that, but I'm also, the other 5 days of the week, I'm in the house.
Yeah.
I'm painting, I'm drawing, I'm putting wee videos on Facebook. It's like, that's my way of coping with Christmas. That's it. And you have just helped me realise that. Literally, when you were
Cool.
saying, I'm thinking, what do I do at Christmas that,
Yeah.
that I overcompensate on? Oh, that's right. You paint paintings and you make cards and you harass wee Jan for making me order Christmas mugs, and if they're still there in December, that's my way of doing it, is by giving away. It's like you said, Michael. I'm like giving away something at Christmas. Obviously, people are paying for it, but it's still a part of my
Yes.
issue, if you want to call it, or masking,
No, it's
or
a
Yeah,
coping strategy.
and my
yeah,
business as well at the same
Yeah.
time. It's
something
like,
that you created is bringing
aye.
people joy.
and that's a joy for me to be able to see and
No,
know,
that's cool.
like what you're saying with the Christmas gift. Somebody opening up something that I've worked with them to make
Yeah,
and
100%.
bring, and then, but then that also brings the stress of, oh, what if they don't like it?
Exactly.
And they've wrapped
Yeah,
it and it's
completely.
there and Christmas, and I'm like,
So I think you've just stumbled upon the neurodivergent kryptonite, which
Yeah.
is gifts.
yeah,
Now, there has to be a disclaimer that whatever gift you get for somebody or you give is enough. It's all enough.
100%.
yeah.
You know,
They thought of you.
Yeah, it is.
But there is so much politics around.
Oh, absolutely. But
Christmas
it is.
gifts.
It is. Christmas is the thought that I literally said to my nearest and dearest this year. I was like, health first. Like, get well. Like, do not.
Don't
Like,
stress about
because
Christmas,
that's. I mean, genuinely, that's
Yeah.
a thing. That's like we've got to be well enough to get there, and then
Yep.
So, and I'm just like, no, health first. I mean, we're not quite sort of Scrooge family, but it's like just make sure that you're as well as one can be. But gifts is a whole. It's a whole thing.
the whole process.
It's a whole process because what is, and I alluded to it in part one, whereas most people now, some people now have an actual limit where they're like, I'm not going to spend above this. Other people do it the other way, where it's like, I want the happy reaction.
Yeah.
And then they find that if neurodivergent, the happy reaction isn't always that. I cannot tell you the amount of times. I mean, my list had a barcode on it. I was like, if you want me to be happy, or to be happier, that might be something, but it was always something odd. It was never what you think it could be. So gifts. Do you have any recollection of the tinsel's completely lost the will now? I think for next year's Christmas episode, should we get recommissioned, we're going to get blue
We
tack.
speak pencils.
We're all going to put in, yes, so gifts.
I've got one that's just literally come into my head.
Oh,
and,
this will be random.
So there was a Christmas time. Now Christmas time has always, you make me realise this. Christmas time has always been really emotional for me.
Yes.
Like, I'm never close to my family, and then I always wanted to go and spend time with other people's families, whether it be a girlfriend or friends. And I'm like,
We're in your house.
aye, we're in your, we're everywhere.
We are.
We're eating your turkey.
Yes.
We're coming for your turkey.
Except not me.
No.
I'm eating your corn.
So this, and I've
Take it. Yeah.
I've got lots of these wee trauma stories, and this is the time of year they come up. So this particular, I mean, the fact I'm nearly mentioned the name, but this girlfriend's family were amazing. You know, invited me for Christmas, and I like ice skating because it was my newfound neurodivergent. I want to do this again, and I was right into it. So in front of the family, I hate opening presents. I'd rather open them up by myself because I'm not unappreciative. I'm just autistic.
Yeah.
There's my t-shirt.
That's
Michael.
a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt.
That's an actual t-shirt.
And you know, it was in front of all the family, and you know, they were opening up the boxes, and I was like, hey, and I'm like, yes, it's a pair of ice skates, it's a pair of ice skates.
Oh, hang on now, before you do the end, what could it have been? Can we have a whip round?
So I go,
No, hang on. So you're into ice skates, and you're into ice skating.
yeah.
So what
A
things do
snow
you?
globe.
Yeah, what things do you need to ice skate? Was it a picture of an ice rink?
No,
No, it wasn't ours. Right.
No.
Okay. There's not many places. Was it like a year membership to a local
No.
ice skating facility?
no,
It clearly wasn't a holiday in the Alps.
no. It was in a box. It looked like skates, so this was the problem.
Okay. All right.
So I was like, right, okay, and then we go, and I was like, right, I was so excited, and I was wearing my new Christmas
no.
jumper on.
This is gonna
I was
go
full,
bad.
I was full ADHD blowing. The granny was there, everything, and I was like, and I opened it. I was like, oh, it's a Nintendo Wii.
That is brilliant.
But that's how much-
Sorry.
Did it have Nintendo Sports on it with the ice
I
cream?
had that, but
No, I'm sorry.
no, not the ice skating. No,
I prepared myself for a terrible gift. That is actually genius
But-
because it means that if it was a tangent or a thing and you not get into it, there's 50 other things you can do.
but
That's true,
I was
yeah.
in front of all the family, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know yourself. We had to
Yeah, yeah,
speak
yeah.
off camera, and the
Yeah,
next minute
yeah.
I was like, proper autistic face,
Yeah.
like, because ADHD was just like, it's Christmas. Then I'm like, oh, so
Thank
we.
you.
After I've just bummed it up about 50 million times, going, and then anyway.
That's hard.
Oh.
And anyway, if you're listening, I still love you. You are all amazing, you guys, because we're all still friends. I still need a pair of skates, mind.
There you go.
But aye, so that was, you know, that's a funny, but that always used to happen, you know, it was
Gifts are
always,
hard.
you know, like always trying to live in the, it's this, it's that, and then like even today when I came and I didn't have a change of clothes for the next episode, that's what I'm like. It's like,
No,
I can
no,
get-
we're shooting next week. We're here every
Aye.
week. We don't do
Yes.
2 in a day. Wink, wink.
but stuff like that, it's like, that always happens to me and I get excited, you know, that letdown, you guys know what
Yeah.
that feeling, that is like literally my whole day is ruined, and now I have to face the fear of I've ruined Christmas, you know, that whole mindset of ruined Christmas for these people, you know, I bummed it up, I couldn't overthink it, so I just get drunk, and that can't be the
Fair,
answer, you know, because that's the next day and stuff, and aye, as I say, we're still friends, but that wee story when Christmas comes, I always play it through, and
it's hard.
I did buy myself a set of skates, but
There you go.
I'll take a second pair
Is there more? I mean,
years later.
actual, genuine Michael Parkinson question. Is there even more pressure if you are coupled with somebody
Yeah, that's a
for
big one.
Christmas to go? Like,
When you're at their parents' house,
Yeah.
yes, especially.
And they're
Yeah.
opening the stuff you've, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, because like last minute saloon, and then is all the other stuff that we're talking about, like the busyness and people brushing past you and all that, and the stress and the couples arguments and the where you going to eat and where you
And the
going to
way
see and
you forget to do the Christmas shopping until Christmas
who.
Eve,
Yeah, that's it.
and it is especially busy.
Yeah.
I had one one especially interesting Christmas where at about 1:45 we had come out of the supermarket with our Christmas stuff, and I then locked the keys in the car. So then we had to wait until 2 a.m. on Christmas morning for the poor AA man to come and get us back into the car. And yeah, it was very awkward.
I want back presents
But
now.
that's the thing, because it was busy, and I was right up, I was like, I just need to get into this car and chill out, and I had like a big meltdown.
And the
whole
head
thing.
space, I can only imagine what it would be like.
There was a lot of crying.
Christmas isn't Christmas without a meltdown. I'm telling you. For
Great,
some of
there's
us,
another thing for me to look
t-shirt.
forward to. That's a t-shirt.
for some of us, it's Monopoly.
And you
For
heard
some
it here
of us-
first. Michael has preempted it. I hope mine
But
comes soon.
I
Gets
don't
it on
even-
by me.
But I
I don't think it works like that.
Michael giving gifts.
It's
before
like sleep.
Christmas.
You can't save up your meltdowns.
Are we
I've tried.
Are we technically like the three kings? And
Um,
queens. And queens.
I'm not going there.
Do you know,
Culture.
on that point, I
Yeah.
used to think there was a place called Orientar.
Ah, those three kings of Orient. Aye.
I didn't think
Why
that
is
would
there
come up
not?
with the funny. Wow, that is genius.
I think we should make this place Orientar.
I think we have. I mean,
We three kings of
That's
Orient.
I
genius.
knew how I thought I spelled it and everything.
but this was
And,
pre-Google.
pre-Google.
So you actually had to go to a library and look for
Well,
this place.
it was just Orientar, like Orinetar. Orientar.
The producer is Googling this. Like,
but
if we
It's-
had
it's
two
not.
cameras, you'd literally see the phone come up to
it's
the face.
actually, the lyrics are like Orient.
Oh, I know.
But like,
Oh,
so
yes.
I'm
I'm with
confused
you.
what we're Googling
Are they
now.
two different?
But anyway, so like I
Is it a place?
literally
Yeah.
didn't have any conversations with people until I was about 23, and they were like, "What are you talking about, Orientar?" And I was like,
It's a restaurant over here now.
And then they're like, sorry, no room.
Exactly.
No room, yeah.
Door shut. No room at the end.
You should have pre-booked.
Never get that to add
I
to
know
my
they
stress.
had all that time on the donkey to phone ahead.
What do you talk about? That's all I'm saying.
Mary and Joseph, the neurodivergents.
That couldn't happen in modern times. We're looking for a nice place. We found a service centre.
We make McDonald's.
With,
There's a band playing.
Look, the arches. Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Oh, the Archer's Christmas special.
I'm only 33.
It's still going.
I know, yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
We've got part 3 to go, yeah. I don't know if we're actually getting through this as a rule.
I think we're
Aye.
doing
We're
all right.
doing okay.
Doing all right.
But I think, in the interest of time, we shall move on to part 3. We'll end on a positive. Part 1 was how difficult we found Christmas.
Yes.
Part 2 was the funny. So goodness knows what part 3 is going to be.
Stay tuned, but
I'm going to go
Brace
away to Google.
yourselves.
It'll be fine.
Winter is coming.
Yes. We'll see you in part 3. And welcome back to part 3, this special Christmas episode of We Speak Tangerine. I am clearly red, wearing synthetic things, surrounded by tinsel. I'm sitting next to...
a banana that's green.
Yes. And at the end, we've got home and country. Yeah, it's a sort of
Sparkles.
horse representative. So let's sort of end on a... Not end. We've got time. Forget what I just said. So running stalls, Christmas markets.
Yeah.
Somebody's making money, and it's not me.
I actually
It's-
quite like Christmas market.
I like the Edinburgh one because it's the German
Although
Christmas
I
market.
remember the Edinburgh one when it was new and it was exciting.
Oh,
and
me
now-
too.
And then they took half of it away and then kept it the same every year.
Before I paid an extortionate amount of money for potatoes and mulled wine. Yes, I remember, and it was new and wonderful.
And Christmas hanging things are expensive. Everyone's expensive.
Mulled apple juice though is where it's at.
Yeah.
When did Christmas become so expensive?
Exactly.
Do you want the political debate now? No.
We were on stalls.
Yeah.
Stalls.
Yeah.
Aye,
Do
so
you do many
we
stalls?
do stalls. We have to turn down some just because. And I'll
You
just
were
be
invited though, eh?
brutally honest. Some of them that we turned down because where the door. This is going to sound crazy, but it's coming for me. Where the door is, where the people are.
No, I get that.
Who's going to be there?
Yeah.
And we turn them down for that reason.
Sorry. Why does it matter where the door is?
It's just like if they're going to situate
You
us
need an
in a
escape
stall.
route.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean where the pitch is?
Aye,
Like
Yeah.
where you are in relation to the
In
door?
relation to the door, yes.
Sorry.
Or how it feels there. I mean,
I've got images. No, sorry, the door's in the wrong place. I just do commissions. Like I don't. I've got to fit the thing in. Yeah, sorry. Right.
Because you've got to think like when people hustle their way around.
Yeah, because
like,
yeah, exactly. Once there's a crowd in there,
Aye.
you're in.
And I'm fortunate because I have a Jan, and we do the Christmas market, and Jan and one of our other amazing wee helpers, Charlotte, they'll do the Christmas market, and I get to wear the mask, which is my wee elf costume, and go and make happy for everybody.
Get to, you choose to.
So
yes, it's a special thing.
I get to wear it. I choose to wear it. But then I go run about and I come back, so I get to be on the stall, but also get to leave of my own accord.
Stuck there. Yeah.
It's like that in itself. See, when we come up with that, so the first couple of years, I'm like, nah, absolutely not doing any stalls. No. And then I'm like, maybe we can do stalls. But you have to come up with that in your own sense. It's
entrepreneurial, you see. If you see the end product.
Even though it's a special episode, we've still got a tip for you.
Exactly.
Money will make you do almost anything.
Exactly. You do need to have money, and it is a busy time, and I can only give a certain period of my time for things like that.
Yeah.
We went to a dinner last night for an award. We didn't win it, but sitting there and being there for that long, and the headspace and the thinking and the people and
what was the first thing you said to me?
What was it?
You've watched my episode and you said, you're right. Nobody remembers.
Nobody remembers the seconds.
And I'm like, no, it's the taking part that counts.
It was good. There was worthy winners there, but for my head, it was again. It was like the Christmas market situation. We're there. We don't know anybody. You have to talk. You have to do that. It's loud. The noises. It's that Christmas feeling again.
And just for the camera,
the small talk of it all.
How was your Julia Roberts didn't win the Oscar face?
I think I did all right with that, but it was pretty much just a stone face. But I had Jan and Andy in there, so
the pictures looked great.
They made happy for me. But again, I'm all right with being autistic. There was other autistic people in the room as well, because I could see them not winning, and I'm like, I know how that feels. I know, but it's part. As I say, it's all part of the growth.
But it's like everything. It's like when you plan that kind of thing, and it's nice, but also
it's the pressure. You're right.
Yeah, because it's like you're planning all these extra things, and they all are pushed into November and December. But also, each of those things needs recovery from it, and then it takes away even more time than the actual event.
Yeah, and then you've got your side mission.
Kind of stuff that you're doing. Yeah.
Side mission there, and again, being an elf, I will be the side mission, so I will be there with the man himself.
You are the side quest.
And the man himself will be there. So I usually escort him about these places. The man being Santa.
Yes.
Not just a random man that I'm like, let's go, I am your elf for the day.
I imagine that's
a new business concept, by the way.
Do you organise that, or do you just grab someone in a Santa suit?
Oh no, there's an elf union. There's an elf union where you don't organise that.
It's the elf and safety of the whole situation. No, they've got a fantastic Santa at Paxton House, so I go around with him. Last year it was snowing, so it was even more fantastic. Nice. But back to the question,
what was the question?
The stalls.
Oh, stalls. Okay, sorry.
It does get a bit busy and overwhelming, and overstimulation is something that I've had to really, really humanly mask. And it's hard, man. I guess it's back to that bit about Christmas as being hard. That's one of the hardest things. Do you know how hard it is to pretend to be somebody that you're not?
Yeah, I do.
You've come to the right place.
Do you know, it's like that. But and if anybody's listening and I'm coming there with my elf costume on, I don't mean anything other than I am a different person when I am me. I put the elf costume on because I choose to now, not because somebody said you must go and use that.
Yeah, and even if it's fun and it's bringing the joy, it's like us in the service station, exactly, like dancing around in our Christmas jumpers. You do then go home and you're like, actually, I feel the energy that I've expended doing that.
But it's your choice.
Every Superman needs a phone box.
Yeah.
Like every Superman needs like a sort of you change into and become something else.
Exactly.
Just a complete tangent entrepreneurial question. Why has the artist never done Christmas crackers?
As in Christmas crackers?
Yes. No, I don't mean like edible. I mean Christmas crackers. You probably get a joke. There's a bang that goes off. Like how?
Should we do are you suggesting neurodivergent crackers with special neurodivergent
Well, what would that be? That would be there'd be no bang.
Would they bang?
There'd be good jokes.
I actually quite like the bang. I like the smell.
Oh, I like the smell. So you can do the bang, I can smell it. Hold on, where are we going with this?
No, so that will be edited out. So I'll just ask the question again because I'm determined that this has a sort of entrepreneurial thing. You're an artist. Christmas crackers, they are terrible. You should do a line of Christmas crackers.
So we did.
That would be
We
cool.
did originally have Christmas crackers with the characters from the kids' books in
Oh,
them.
cool.
I see.
It's expense. It's expense. You want to do them all by yourself, so then you've got time. You've got that. There's no money in it, but for fun, it is something that we have looked at.
I think they're sort of going out of fashion, aren't they? Crackers, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, folk put them away for next year as well.
Yeah,
now, so
we
it's
have
not
them-
really
we-
an ongoing thing.
Yeah,
you know?
we always had them on the tree.
Aye.
So yeah,
It's like the
one
battery thing.
box would
Yeah,
get you
it is,
through
aye.
several years.
Aye, my mum used to do that until she found out there was no presents in them or the wee bangy thing, because I'd broke into it and liberated them.
That's hilarious.
Because I like to smell it was in.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So
That's a whole different
I'm
sting.
repenting for the whole Christmas.
That's just you in
Christmas
the
is
cupboard
coming.
under the stairs. Bang, bang.
I mean,
That was literally it. That is
what
literally
were
it.
the logistics of this? Like, did you have to crawl around the back of the tree and stuff?
It's a fire hazard.
When they were making a cup of tea with the kettle on,
Ah, there you go.
and then I
yeah.
would just pint and they would just die. I'd take them
To
upstairs.
be fair,
and
we had
replace
like the
them.
whole afternoon free range after our walk round. We used to go walk around a reservoir for 6 miles, which took most of the day.
I'd rather be in the cupboard.
And
At this point, walking around a reservoir. Like,
I know
bang.
it was above the tree line, so even if it wasn't snowing at our house, it was always snowing there.
Oh, nice.
So we'd have a nice little walk through the snow and make snowmen, and then we'd come back and our parents would cook dinner.
I think that was the most random tangent we've done so far.
I've really enjoyed this, man. This is like counselling for me. Thank you very much. This is like.
But no, it's nice. It's
Aye.
like the whole ethos of everything. You know, the coaching and the
Yeah.
podcast and all of it. It's just about connecting with people that see the world.
And it's like
in
to
a similar
show.
way.
It's to show you guys exactly how it is for us as well as other people. You know, it isn't easy running a business, but I think Michael said earlier about like to go back in and work in these other places we were talking about. Hence, we were talking about worse places we've worked in, Christmas places. I myself could not go back into working in the bank. I couldn't go working along, and it's not because I couldn't go and work alongside other people. It's the situations
It's
we've
the
just
energy of it
described.
all.
Aye.
Yeah.
Working for yourself is such an experience, and it is hard work, but it gets better. Not easier, it gets better.
It's an
with
easier
time.
Christmas present to buy if you work for yourself.
Well, there is that, but you run out of giving them things like that, and they're like, James, this is really like you put that on your website 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And this one's for me. Yeah.
But and as I was saying earlier, being an entrepreneur is hard enough, but a neurodivergent entrepreneur, we do all the thinking, we do all the other bits. But if there's anybody out there thinking about it, it's worth it. Watch the other podcasts and see how we as a team have came together. I feel comfortable to unmask myself or whatever you want to label it.
It's like how we talk to everybody about what hacks and things and get you through everything. And it's about finding how it works, and you just don't have the freedom to do that in a job.
I think that'll be a nice question to finish on before we do the sort of bit at the end. What are the coping strategies for Christmas?
Having had that conversation under the tree, end of the cover. But no, for me, like you mentioned it, Kat. Like I make sure I go to a fairy trail close to where I live in Berwick, and I also go to the beach on Christmas Day. That for me is like there is even less people there on Christmas Day if you go at the right time.
Nature, isn't it?
Connect with yourself as well.
Exactly.
To get yourself back to a level of not overwhelming before the phones and the messages come in. It's just got to work on yourself before you decide to go to work with others. That's what it is for me.
And Kat, what are your coping mechanisms?
I mean, it got a lot easier when about 15 years ago decided not doing presents. I don't get presents and I don't give presents. And I also don't do the day. Don't do it.
Avoidance is a tactic. It is a coping
because
strategy.
and it did used to be avoidance, and now it's more of a choice where I do that self-care and I look at how I feel about what's happened and what is going on and how I feel on the day, and it becomes a space for a reset.
So this is going to sound very check my privilege, but mine, it's just eating well, eating fruitcake and cheese and watching sport. And still doing like the whole Christmas experience, but being able to exit when somewhere before the Monopoly and the Christmas film where it becomes bearable.
Maybe as well we open it up to people and ask what other people
Yeah,
says.
that'd
That'd
be
be
amazing.
interesting to hear
Yeah.
what other people's coping strategies
would be.
are.
Perhaps by the time this airs, we might have already asked that. And then we can have it in the show notes.
And
That's a
also,
fantastic idea.
if you're unsure...
So please check the show notes
Yeah.
for more ideas.
I'm looking forward to reading the transcript of the tangent that we've just had, but that's a whole separate thing. But also, if you're not sure how to navigate the Christmas period, there will be, I assume, a list of telephone contacts for some...
crisis lines and other support lines will be in the show notes also. And do please reach out if you are struggling at Christmas. You know, you're not alone.
Absolutely no. I mean, you could be really sad and watch the podcast end to end on a loop, by which point, but no, it's important that Christmas works for everybody, and I think that's the takeaway. So as much as we've tangented, is there any other things about the Christmas period other than to encourage people to buy local? And not stress folk out.
Now I've got in my mind about you watching sport on Christmas Day, so I'm going to be asking you questions later. What kind of sport are you watching on Christmas Day?
Darts.
There's quite a lot of Christmas sport.
Yes.
I don't have console telly, so there you go. I've answered the question. I'm out. I'm all right.
So is there anything else before we do the closing thing? I mean, there might be, there might not be. I'm just
it's my birthday
fishing
today.
for time. Oh, yes, so it is.
Not on Christmas.
Christmas.
Day,
well,
you've got a wee badge.
Well, hang on.
On the undisclosed day when we recorded
Edit
this.
that back in. Christmas Day is James's birthday. So if you're going to get anybody a gift...
Oh no, that's hard. I knew someone whose birthday was Christmas Day. And they only get one set of presents.
My pal Graham has real Christmas Day, and I always remember and I say, and he's like, aye. They just split
just
them.
another day.
Yeah.
Just another day.
We only get one set of presents.
Aye.
But no, I think, Christmas, we need to do things so that society needs to do things so that Christmas works.
I think it's becoming more acceptable to make it your own these days, which is good.
Too much a production line. I think the answer is there, Michael.
Says the elf.
I know. I love this though. This comes out the cupboard and I'm smiling. But it's like, slow.
You are literally making presents though, to be fair.
Yes.
I think
But I agree, it's too much of a production line.
And
you
even
need to stop that.
Even for me, what I'm about to say is hard. It's like, I guess if there's any message in this, slow your life down a wee bit. Take some
100%.
self-care. Go to the beach. Kiss your loved ones. As Michael said, that as long as everybody's healthy and happy, then that is the Christmas thing that we all seem to be losing. It's not about the presents. It's not about that. The biggest present is in front of you. You got another day. So.
Tinsel. Oh, sorry.
Yes. So
I completely agree.
And Merry Christmas everybody as well.
Likewise.
Yes. Merry Christmas, everyone, one and all.
Oh, hang on.
God bless us,
Sorry.
everyone.
we can't end on that.
We can end on Scrooge if we want to.
Can we have a little bit
You
less
boy,
of
bring me the turkey now.
Can we have a little bit less of an Americanized, goodwill to all men, like candles?
Toy Dickens.
Yeah.
He's not American.
No, but it's such
He stayed in Berwick as well.
from synthetic elf. Yes. Okay.
Happy all of the holidays.
Yes. Happy whatever you celebrate in December. Power to you. No. From all of us
Enjoy
here,
it.
Yes. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Enjoy it. But from all of us here at Whiskey Tangent, have a good festive season. And if you're watching this in February, I can only apologise.
Hopefully it was still fun.
Yeah, stay safe and have a great Christmas. Bye-bye.